is Mr. O'Brien here. And in part 2 of the Topic 5 video series, we're going to be talking about, we're comparing the processes and outcomes of mitosis and meiosis. Now, if you remember, mitosis is the process of making an exact copy. So, in mitosis, we're going from a 2N, or a full set of chromosomes, to 2 copies of 2N structures, or full chromosomal structures. So down at the bottom here, these both are 2N. They're both diploid cells because we're making an exact copy. Now in meiosis, we're making our sex cells, and in that case, our sex cells are 1N or haploid in nature, and we're making 4 of them. And you can see those 4 cells down at the bottom right here. So again, these are all 1N structures. So let's talk about the differences that we have here. So we're going to start with mitosis. And again, mitosis is this process of making an exact copy. So the genetic material in a cell is duplicated and divided equally between these 2 cells. So we're making like skin cells, or cells in our intestines, things like that. So again, they're somatic cells. They're the body cells, and again, exact copies. When we were making more fat cells, when we were making more blood cells, when we were making more skin cells during this process. So during mitosis, we need this process in order to replace dead cells, replace damaged cells, or cells that have a very short lifespan. So for example, if you are, let's just say, cutting an onion and you slice your hand, how your hand is able to heal itself and fill in that cut is by mitosis. It replicates the cells, fills in the gap, and just kind of helps the body replace those missing cells. So again, we're making genetically identical cells in this process. So if you look up here, we're starting with, obviously, interphase right here. So in interphase, again, this is when the body is just going through its normal step. Okay, the next step would be prophase, when our chromosomes condense. All right, and then eventually they're going to line up in the middle of the cell during metaphase. And finally, they begin to pull apart during anaphase. And then we will get our 2 new cells during telophase. So again, here's the process. Here are a couple steps just for review from last video. Now, meiosis is a little bit different. Meiosis is when we're making our sex cells, or our sperm in males and our egg in females. So this is the process by which gametes, or again, sex cells, are generated in organisms that reproduce sexually. So in this case, we're producing half the chromosomes in these cells. Because if you remember, you get half of your chromosomes from mom, half of them from dad, which gives you your total full set of chromosomes. Now, gametes are produced in males and female gonads, and again, they contain 1/2. In humans, that number is 23 chromosomes as the original cell, which would be 46. So, again, this is where these new combinations of alleles are produced. So because of events like crossing over and just the simple fact of, the mixing of genes, we get new combinations. This is why nobody really looks alike, because of the amount of different possible allele combinations we get during meiosis. So the meiotic cycle produces 4 cells that are genetically different. Again, genetically different creates genetic diversity with only half the number of chromosomes. So again, 23 is half from dad, 23 half from mom, and when you add those together in a fertilized cell, you get the 46 chromosomes that make up your body. So what are the key takeaways we need mitosis versus meiosis? So mitosis and meiosis, they're both nuclear divisions. They're both processes that occur during cell division. Now, mitosis involves division of body cells or somatic cells, while meiosis involves the division of sex cells. So again, they're producing two different types of cells in our body. Now, the division of the cell occurs once in mitosis, so we're only splitting the nucleus once, but in meiosis, we're splitting the nucleus twice to reduce the number of chromosomes. And finally, in mitosis, we create two identical daughter cells, and in meiosis, we're producing 4 genetically different haploid cells. So again, these ones up here, these are diploid, our full set of chromosome. These are haploid. So another big, like I said, takeaway that we have is the type of cell that we're producing. So the daughter cells as a result of mitosis are diploid in nature. And in meiosis, they're haploid. So again, diploid just simply means double the set of chromosomes, whereas haploid is only one full set. Now, the daughter cells that are produced at mitosis, again, are genetically identical. They're almost like clones. They're making an exact copy. So meiosis is where we are producing our genetic diverse cells. This is how the variation in the human race is formed. So let's kind of talk about this a little more in depth. So the first one we want to talk about is cell division. So in cell division, mitosis, somatic cell divides once. Cytokinesis, the division of the cytoplasm, occurs at the end of telophase. Now, during cell division in meiosis, the reproductive cell divides twice, and cytokinesis happens twice. So in other words, there are 2 total steps where our nucleus splits and we divide our cytoplasm in meiosis. So again, 1 cell division in mitosis, 2 cell divisions in meiosis. Now, in mitosis, we're producing 2 daughter cells. So again, 2 exact copies, each diploid in nature, meaning having our full set of chromosomes. Now, in meiosis, we're producing 4 daughter cells, and they have half the amount of genetic material of our original cell. So again, this is why this is creating somatic cells, and these are creating gametic cells because of our reduction in the genetic information. So as a result, the daughter cells in mitosis are genetic clones, meaning that they are exactly the same. In meiosis, the result is genetically different, or we get what's known as genetic recombination, or the reshuffling of the genes, because of a process called crossing over. And again, this is where the 2 chromosomes line up next to each other and they exchange genetic information. So in the final thing, just a kind of brief overview of the overall process here. Mitosis is the process of creating an exact copy of a cell. Skin cells replacing themselves is the example. Again, they go through 1 nuclear division, and they are exact copies with a full set of chromosomes. Meiosis is the production or the making of sex cells, sperm and the egg. Again, we're producing half the number of chromosomes for when we do reproduce. We are combining the 2 halves to make a whole. So again, there are 2 nuclear divisions in meiosis to create 4 haploid genetically different cells. So hopefully this little video helps you compare both mitosis and meiosis. Again, this is part 2 of your topic 5 video series.